Then, handing them his royal signet, he said,
I like you.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on YouTube? It's Filthy, and we're back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we're going to teach you how to take your level 1 3-star Kael, or any starter champion, but we've gone for Kael, and how to get them up to 6-star, level 60 as fast as possible. I managed to get this done in 6 days. I didn't put everything into it. I did play some other areas of the game, so you absolutely 100% can do this faster. But if you're aiming for like that kind of first 6-7 days of a new account, I think that is reasonable, particularly hopefully with some of the information and tips that I'm going to give you. So we're going to cover XP, how to rank him up, what or who to food to him, to feed him, to grow him up, how to get his potions, how to get the skill books, what kind of gear, masteries, and all that type of stuff. So hopefully you'll find this useful. Now, the most important thing with your Kael, with your starting champion, is to make sure that you can get to level 50, and then you can actually farm level 9, the Dreadlands on Brutal, 12-3 with a level 50 Kael. I will link a video I did months ago showing this, the stats that you need. It's not particularly onerous. Anybody, if you can get him to 5-star, you can get him up here to Brutal 12-3, and you'll be able to crunch 90% of the XP that you would be getting on Brutal 12-3, which is the gold standard for XP and silver farming in the game. Everybody at endgame farms this stage here, Brutal 12-3 pretty much. So if you can get 90% of the XP by farming level 9, that of course will hopefully show that you can rank up all of your food very fast and get Kael up to 6-star and then to 60 just as fast as you can. Now, by way of assistance, what have we had on this account? Well, we started a new Polarium ID account, so we got a Deacon Armstrong. We also got a barrel, which instantly upgraded Kael to level 60 for us. So we have had those two things. We also had a Sacred Shard. We got lucky and got Shiramani. She was very helpful for clearing some of the campaign with Kael because she is an off affinity for him. So what that means is that Kael is a magic affinity. Magic is of course weak to force but strong to spirit. We've got here a force champion, so whenever Kael comes up against a red or force enemy, he'll struggle, but Shiramani could do it. She was already 5-star because she's legendary, so that was a big help. Also, you could have had Deacon Armstrong as your off affinity champion, so again, he is spirit affinity, so when Kael comes up against a force enemy, he's spirit, so he's going to be strong, so that would have been somebody we could have built. Burangiri incidentally could also do the same job. He was a recent free Prime Gaming epic. I did get lucky and get an Ugo. We didn't really use her much clearing the campaign, but some other off affinity champions you could use are Shield Guard. He's an uncommon. You either have to find him from mystery shards, buy him from the market, or if you go to the campaign, he is available in stage 9, the Dreadlands. Unfortunately, one of many champions that can drop, but he is a really good off affinity choice because, as I say, he's green, so that does match when you come up against the forced enemies. If you can build him up with skill books. Quick insert here, guys. When I say upgrade Shield Guard with skill books, I don't mean actually using skill books for him, because that is obviously a huge waste. Don't ever use rare books on an uncommon champion. Don't ever use epic books on a rare champion, blah blah blah. But as you collect copies of Shield Guard and you go to upgrade skills here, copies of him will appear here, and you can just feed him a copy like a book, and that's how I've managed to increase his skills so far, because I've collected up several copies of him and then fed him to himself for skills. Don't use your rare books, complete waste. I just want to make sure that's clear so you don't make a mistake. He does an AoE, fills his own turn meter, he's defense based, so he's quite tanky. Get him in some lifesteal stuff, and that will help. Now, progressing the campaign initially on normal, you should be able to reach the end with a 30 or 40 level Kael. You'll get yourself a void shard. You can pop it, you never know, you might get something decent out of it. But I've basically opened every single shard that we've got on the account so far, and you'll note there's not many champions here, and that's because we've used pretty much everybody else for food. Now obviously you don't want to use good champions for food, so anybody who is either part of a fusion, it's got one of these little doohickeys on it here. Maybe somebody who you think might be useful later on in the game. So like I got Dilgol, I thought we'd hang on to him. He's a dwarf who's interesting. Banshee's an interesting later game champion might need. But anybody who I wasn't 100% sure I was going to keep, we ploughed into Kael to try and not leveling him up, but like doing the in the tavern, increasing his rank rather than level. So don't put people in to like upgrade the level. So if we just pick this champion here, don't be putting stuff in like this. What you want to do when you do get to max rank is you put the champs in to unlock to do that. Right, so that's normal campaign. That shouldn't be too much bother. That unlocks hard for you. There are some places you might want to stop as you're trying to grind out the XP. First port of call is the Durnham Forest. Reason being is you can get Spirit Host here, and you can also get Greybeard. Greybeard's just a decent champ, won't run through him in any great detail. But Spirit Host is important for Kael for two reasons. One, she does the big version of increased attack, so that will help out your arena team. It will help you out clearing some of the more difficult stages if you need a damage boost, because 50% increased attack scales really well with Kael. But she's also a Dark Elf, so if you collect multiple copies, you can come here and pump up your Faction Guardians. I've not had great RNG farming this stage, so I've only got 2 copies of Spirit Host in here, but 10% HP, 10% attack, accuracy, resistance, defense and speed are all going to be really handy, so that is something you could spend a bit of time doing to pump your Kael up a little bit. The next campaign location that I'm considering stopping at is Palace of Aravia to get speed gear. Maximum here is 4-star gear. That's okay if you get like speed boots, attack percent chest, crit rate gloves potentially. Bear in mind you do get a lot of free 4-star epic lifesteal gear which you want to slap on to your Kael, and you're looking really to just fill out the other 2 slots, but by all means you can try and pick up some speed stuff here. Lifesteal gear for your off affinity split champion is going to be from the Valdemar Strait. Again, you're looking for 4-star lifesteal gear if you can, so again just mix and match. Kael will crush stage 6 because these are all green enemies, they're all spirity strong on these stages. Not so bad on stage 5, but look at these earlier stages, lots of force affinity champs, so it is a little bit of a struggle to come here to farm. You can do some of it manually, again that's always a tip available to you if you get stuck. Then the next stage to stop at is the Dreadlands for the Shield Guard. War Maiden has got an AoE drop defense, which is really nice, particularly if you didn't get a Deacon Armstrong as a promo code to start an account. So again, off affinity, so she does actually pair fairly well with Kael. She's just a very squishy champion, so you just need to bear that in mind if you're going to try and get her up to 40 to go with your Kael to clear the content. And then of course 12-3 on normal hard. You just sometimes have to stop where you have to stop, because this last stage 7 with this Mortu Macabre can be a bit of a difficulty, but you just have to, if you have to take 4 champions to clear it to unlock Brutal, it is worth it, because your goal really is to get to Brutal ASAP. You might need a level 50 Kael, you might not, might be able to get it through with 40 if it's ascended, if he's got his skill books, if he's got good gear and you've got another nice champion to go. But again, similar strategy. We're going to stop at the Durnham Forest, try and farm up maybe some of the Spirit Host champs, and then once you've got your Kael up to 50, you again can have a little stop at the Palace of Aravia for speed stuff, but really you're looking to push your way through to the Dreadlands, 12-3 Brutal, level 50 Kael, 90% XP, and then that should sort you out, and you should be able to do that solo, and then you will be able to collect yourself up 4 champs who look like this. Level 40 4-star, you then have to feed all the 1-star rank 4 champions to them to make them into the 5-star chickens. You then feed them to Kael. Now it was Thanksgiving recently, we did get a chicken pack which was great, that did help us, but that's kind of the XP strategy, and it shouldn't take, well it does take a long time, it is grindy, but you can get it done, and as I say, Brutal stage 9 12-3 definitely helps. In terms of his gear, you want to slap the lifesteal bits the game gives you for free. At level 30 you unlock the Forge, and what you're going to do when you get to your account level 30, come to the Forge, do perception, 5 to 6 star pieces. You'll be able to craft at least 2, maybe more, I can't quite remember. Make sure you use your rank and rarity charms on these 5 to 6 star pieces, because if you can get a 5 or 6 star, epic or legendary piece, then it might well be handy. Now, these ones I've got are still, it's still a 6 star helmet with HP and speed. That's decent enough for an early game account. This weapon, legendary, really you're looking for crit rate, you're looking for speed, you're looking for accuracy. They're the things you really, really want. We didn't get them, but they're certainly good enough, and this is the best kind of gear. In terms of artifact enhancement, you want to kind of pair this with the missions at the bottom of the screen. So when it comes up to, increase a level 16 piece artifact here, you want to try and pair that off. It's not retrospective, you do have to do it at the right time. But ones to focus on are going to be crit rate gloves to get his crit rate up to 100%. And speed boots to make him as fast as humanly possible. Now, he does have some inbuilt crit in his kit. Mine's only 72. Again, it's really hard to properly gear a character out with 100% crit rate at the start of the game. His A2 does come with 15% increased crit, but ideally you want his A3 critting, you want his A1 critting. You do want some accuracy, which is where this perception comes in great, because it adds 40 accuracy and speed so that we can land these poison debuffs here. In terms of skill books, these are quite easy to get. You just simply go to the campaign and you go back and you do all the star challenges. So beat the stage with either 2 or fewer champions with no losses for 3 star, or beat it with 4 champs no losses for 2 star. And again, on normal there are skill books available. On hard there are skill books available, same for brutal, and they all go into Kael. Another way is in the challenges, so champions, artifacts. I don't think the dungeon one, I think that's always shards, but arena does books as well, so knock some of those out if you can. Clan boss is actually a decent way of getting skill books, so is your clan activity, and obviously with Kael being a really good poisoner, then we do have access to this warrior chest on easy, because this is the first one when skill books drop. Can't get any lower than that, but I've been lucky. I got, I think, 3 or 4 skill books out of clan boss in the first few days, which is obviously really, really nice. Faction wars again is another area for skill books, so as you progress along as far as you can go, that of course is handy. And then there is one more place, which is your clan shop. So do some clan challenges, you'll be able to buy some skill books, and again that will help pump your Kael up. Shouldn't be too hard to get him fully booked out. It does require quite a few. You do of course get daily logins, you get account level increases, and then they give you a skill book as well, so it's not too bad to get him fully booked out, and that is that. In terms of jewellery, you have to get lucky really and just land yourself some dark elf pieces. Again, clan shop, you can get these if your clan's rank 5 or above, so again another good place. Other than that, you're going to have to try and crunch spider. You just have to bully your way through this, but it takes ages, and the reason it takes ages is because there's so many factions. You're on an RNG roll as to which piece of jewellery you get, then you've got to roll it for the faction, so it is hard. Stage 10 is bugged, so that's where I want to go next and farm out my amulet and my banner for him. Another important thing is going to be glyph up all these pieces. You want to put glyphs, even if they're only small, little 1% here, 2%, 1 speed. Get them all glyphed up because it does make a bit of a difference, particularly at level 50. And another thing that makes a big difference at your level 50 Kael as you're progressing onto the 6 star is to buy the Masteries with the 800 gems. So you want to be looking at some kind of build like this, which is like a hybrid. It does help a little bit in clan boss, but mainly you're picking things for campaign farming, such as increased speed when he kills people up to 18, cooldown reduction when he slams somebody for more than 30% of his max HP, evil eyes, also a nice one to take some turn meter down. You can have recover some health if hitting below 50% HP. Sometimes you're down and out and you're about to die, and this can come in clutch and heal you up a little bit. Sniper for more chance to place poison debuffs, Master Hexes to extend potentially the poison debuffs. But even at level 50, you can have all of these up to this rank 5 tier here. It is worth it. These do add quite a lot of power, crit rate, crit damage, accuracy. It's all useful stuff. And of course, as soon as you get into 6-star, War Master makes a massive difference damage wise to clan boss, dragon, and all that kind of good stuff. So I think that covers artifacts. We've done skills, we've done masteries, we've done the faction guarding keep, we've done the XP strategy. So I suppose the only other thing is Ascension potions. I'm unfortunately filming this on a day when the magic keep isn't open, stupid me, but you'll be able to bully your way through. So assuming, let's pretend this is the magic keep, at level 50 Kael, be able to bully your way through to like stage 6, 7, easy, no problemo. You might even be able to go further. You might at some point struggle to get rid of the shield, but there are champions in the game available for free who can do that. Let's just go to the index because that's going to be easier. So a free champ to strip the shield for the magic is Conqueror. He is the wrong affinity, sadly, but he does do a remove 2 buffs from the target. You can, if you, again, he's a stage 1 champion, so you can get him from the campaign stage 1. If you wish to farm out multiple copies, you can get it down to 2-turn cooldown, which is pretty nice. So, even though he's the wrong affinity, it's still going to be helpful for you. I've picked myself up a Bannerlord, who is Spy Master, so I'm going to currently build this guy out for the magic keep because he's got 40% chance of reducing 2 random buffs by 1 turn. And he also has counter attack. So yeah, some other champion, but to build this guy out initially, you Kael, you shouldn't need that. You can just simply go because he only needs the medium potions to fully ascend. And again, it is worthwhile just for the stat boost, just to kind of pump him up. So Spider next for me, but ultimately that's it. This is, a level 60 Kael. He can do 12-3 brutal, no problem. He's only going to grow in power as I improve his gear, improve his crit rate up, improve his crit damage up, improve his defense attack. Another little Brucey bonus you can get is obviously coming in here and doing your arena battles. I'm hanging on to my medals because I can't remember whether these are retroactive, the upgrades, but you can do his attack, which is more damage, crit damage, of course, adds up to more DPS. Accuracy is always handy, it's hard stat to come by. HP, defense, of course, make him tougher. So again, you could kind of focus here a little bit if you're getting stuck as well. So that is the guide. I hope you found it useful. If you want to know which champions to feed Kael and which not, I've done pretty much a good chunk of the factions, reviewing all the rares, saying which ones are worthwhile. Just YouTube a guide if you get a rare and you're not sure, maybe you get yourself, I don't know, a copy of Banshee. You just have to look her up and work out whether you want to keep her or not. I'm hanging on to some that I think will be useful. Realistically, I could feed all of these rares up to speed the process along, but I think we're going to take a medium term view and hang on to some of them because I'm not sure how useful. Stuff like this guy, like he might be useful for faction wars at some point. He's void, he's got increased defense, he's got continuous heal, so I'm hanging on to him rather than feeding him. That's the guide. I hope you found it useful. I've been the Filthy Casual. Take it easy. Peace.